Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going back to where the story of one of football's biggest stars began. Before the goals, before the trophies, before the fame, there was just a young boy from a small village in Egypt with one huge dream: to become a professional footballer. His name? Mohamed Salah. But how did a kid from a small Egyptian village become one of the most famous footballers in the world? This is the incredible story of Mohamed Salah. His struggles, his comeback, his biggest moments, and the journey that turned him into a football superstar. So sit back, relax, and let's go back to the beginning.
Mohamed Salah, from a small village to a football legend. Imagine being a young boy with a dream. You don't have the biggest stadium. You don't have the best equipment. You don't have famous people watching you. All you have is a football, a lot of determination, and a dream that seems almost impossible. This is the story of Mohamed Salah, a boy from Egypt who dreamed of becoming a professional footballer. Boy who would eventually become one of the most famous footballers in the world. But his journey was not easy. It began far away from the bright lights of the biggest football stadiums. Mohamed Salah was born on June 15, 1992, in Negrig, a small village in Egypt. As a child, Salah loved football. While many children dreamed about becoming famous, Salah simply wanted to play the game he loved. He would spend hours playing football and working on his skills. But there was one major problem. His dream was difficult to achieve because he lived far away from Egypt's biggest football centers. To train seriously, Salah had to travel for hours. Sometimes his journey to training could take several hours each way. Think about that. While other children were relaxing after school, Salah was traveling long distances just to get a chance to practice football, and he did it again and again. He understood something very important. If he wanted his dream to become reality, he had to work for it. Eventually, Salah joined the youth system at El Makaloun, also known as Arab contractors. He was young, but coaches began noticing something special about him. He was fast, he was skillful, and most importantly, he never wanted to stop improving. In 2010, Salah made his senior debut for El Makaloun. He was no longer just a kid dreaming about becoming a footballer. He was becoming a professional. But the next challenge was even bigger. Europe. In 2012, Salah moved to Switzerland to play for FC Basel. For a young Egyptian footballer, this was a huge change. New country. New language. New football. New pressure. But Salah adapted quickly. He helped Basel win the Swiss league and made a name for himself in European football. Soon, bigger clubs began paying attention. In 2014, Salah moved to Chelsea in England. For many young players, joining a club like Chelsea would feel like reaching the top of the mountain. But Salah's story was about to become much more difficult. At Chelsea, he struggled to get regular playing time. He didn't get the opportunities he wanted. His confidence was tested. And eventually, he left England on loan. First, he went to Fiorentina in Italy. Then he moved to Roma. And this is where something incredible happened. Salah began to show the world what he could really do. He became faster, stronger, more confident, and more dangerous in front of goal. At Roma, he became one of the team's most important players. The player who had struggled to get opportunities in England was now shining in Italy. And then came the moment that changed everything. In 2017, Mohamed Salah returned to England, but this time, he wasn't joining Chelsea. He was joining Liverpool. Some people wondered if Salah could succeed in the Premier League. After all, he had struggled during his first spell in England, but Salah had changed. He was more experienced, more confident. And more determined than ever. Then, the goals started coming. And coming. Salah became one of Liverpool's most dangerous attackers. He scored goals, he created chances. He broke records, and he became a nightmare for defenders. During his first Premier League season with Liverpool, Salah scored 32 league goals. That was an incredible achievement. Suddenly, the football world was talking about him. The player who once struggled to get minutes at Chelsea was now one of the biggest stars in English football. But Salah didn't stop there. He wanted trophies. He wanted to win with Liverpool. And Liverpool had a dream of their own. The Champions League. In the 2018-19 season, Liverpool reached the Champions League final. Their opponent was Tottenham Hotspur. Millions of people watched around the world. And Liverpool won. Mohamed Salah had become a Champions League winner, but there was still another dream. The Premier League. Liverpool had come incredibly close before, but the title continued to escape them. Then, in the 2019-20 season, Liverpool finally did it. They won the Premier League after decades of waiting. Liverpool were champions of England. And Mohamed Salah was one of the biggest reasons for their success. But Salah's story isn't only about trophies and goals. It is also about his connection with Egypt. For Egyptian fans, Salah is more than just a footballer. He represents hope. Whenever he plays for the Egyptian national team, millions of people watch. Children across Egypt see him and think, maybe I can do it too. And that is one of the most powerful things about sport. A footballer can inspire people without ever meeting them. Salah has also become known for his charitable work and support for people in his hometown and across Egypt. He has helped fund projects and support communities, showing that success isn't only about what you achieve for yourself. It's also about what you do for other people. But perhaps the most important part of Salah's story is how many times he had to keep going. Think about his journey, a young boy from a small Egyptian village. Long journeys just to train. A move to Switzerland. A move to England. Difficulties at Chelsea. Loans. A fresh start in Italy. And finally, a return to England where he became a superstar. If Salah had given up when things became difficult at Chelsea, would we know his name today? Maybe not. That's why his story teaches us something important. Sometimes failure isn't the end of your story. Sometimes failure is simply a different chapter. Salah could have looked at his time at Chelsea and decided that he wasn't good enough. Instead, he worked harder, he improved, he kept believing, and eventually, he returned to England as a completely different player. His speed became famous, his left foot became dangerous, his finishing became incredible, and his determination became one of his greatest strengths. Over the years, Salah has collected major individual awards, broken records, won trophies, and become one of Liverpool's most important players. But behind every goal is a story. Behind every trophy are years of training. Behind every celebration are moments when things didn't go according to plan, and that's what makes his journey so special. Mohamed Salah didn't start with everything. He started with a dream that seemed far away, but he kept moving toward it. Step by step, training session by training session. Match by match. Goal by goal. Today, when fans see Salah running onto the pitch at Anfield, they don't just see a football superstar. They see the result of years of sacrifice and hard work. They see the boy from Negrig who refused to stop chasing his dream, and perhaps that's the greatest lesson Mohamed Salah can teach us. You don't need to start at the top. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You don't need your journey to be perfect. You just need to keep moving forward. Because sometimes the person nobody expects to succeed becomes the person everyone remembers. Mohamed Salah started with a football and a dream in a small Egyptian village. Years later, he had played on the biggest stages in world football. He had won major trophies, he had scored unforgettable goals, and he had inspired millions of people. His story proves that dreams don't come true simply because you wish for them. Dreams come closer when you work for them. So if you're watching this and you have a dream of your own, remember Mohamed Salah. Remember the long journeys. Remember the difficult moments. Remember Chelsea. Remember the comeback. And remember the goals. Because your story isn't finished just because you're facing a difficult chapter. Keep learning, keep working, keep believing, and one day you might look back and realize that the hardest part of your journey was actually the part that made you stronger. This was the story of Mohamed Salah, from a small village in Egypt to the biggest stages in football, from a young boy with a dream to a football legend. And his journey reminds us of one simple message: never stop chasing your dream.